This is Mr. Finch. He's a 10-year-old jumper. Just doing a maintenance visit for him. So all the oh. Well, my mic is dead, so been a busy day today. So this is Finch. He is a 10-year-old jumper. Oh, are we gonna work? Oh, we might work. Hold on. I think we're in business. Oh, hey buddy. Obviously you can see he's a super sweet gelding. Shift this, there we go. Perfect. Hello Cindy, good morning. Or I guess good afternoon now. Oh, let's move him back a little bit. All right, so this is Finch. He is a 10-year-old show jumper. Super sweet guy. Obviously a pretty big horse, as you can see, but very sweet, very affectionate horse. Loves his body work, loves his adjustments. And so we're just doing a maintenance visit today. Don't have any major complaints on him from his owner. She just wants him checked out and adjusted where needed, just to keep him feeling good for the shows, since there's a lot of jumping shows happening around here this time of the year. So I'm just going over him, just checking to see if he's sore anywhere, you know, seeing if there's any flinching or spasming in his muscles while I'm checking him. And there's definitely some on this side, mid to low back. I'll show you guys what that looks like from my perspective. So right here, when I roll my fingers down his back, you can see all that twitching, right? See all that twitching going on here? And then he kind of walks out of that. So when I'm checking horses for pain, I'm not checking them using the tips of my fingers, right? Like I'm not using my fingernails, because if I use my fingernails, then obviously it's going to elicit a pain type response because it's uncomfortable. So whenever you check your horses for back pain or soreness or anything like that, you want to make sure that you're using a soft, fatty part of your finger or your hand, so that you're not eliciting a false positive response. And you'll see a lot of people that are kind of shysty, you know, going around barns and stuff and trying to get business, and they'll use their fingernails and go down the back and they'll go, oh, see, your horse is really sore. But it's not actually sore. They're just being unscrupulous, I guess. They're not being honest, and they're just trying to make the horse appear sore so that they get the business. So got to watch out for that sometimes. And you can see he's not really happy about having his low back messed with. So we're definitely dealing with some low back pain. So in this case, I like to first go in and do these pelvic reflexes to try to get them to flex and lift the back up and stretch all of that out. And a lot of times just getting them flexed and getting them to open all that up will take a lot of this discomfort away. So that's what I'm going to do. He's kind of standing on a tightrope back there. He's got a big hole in the middle of his stall here, which is not good for, see, look, as soon as I drop down, I'm like 6 inches shorter. So I'm going to go do this from the other side. We'll see how he responds to this. But basically, I'm just going to be hitting some pressure points back here, and I'm going to get him to lift his back. But as soon as I initiate that reflex, he wants to walk away. So definitely not too happy in his pelvis here. Fine in extension. He's perfectly fine dropping his pelvis down and forward. But when you go to lift his back up and to flex the pelvis, then he's like, nah, I don't want to do that, and wants to walk away. So pretty obvious issue that he's dealing with here. Very easy to find. Sometimes the fix is not as easy. But I definitely want to see if I can get him a little bit more comfortable. Sometimes, you know, I typically like to work on the legs last. And he's really stuck in the withers and flexion. So I think probably what's going on here is that he's not using his mid to upper back like he's supposed to. He's not using that to flex. And so he's probably using the hind end and really, you know, performing a lot of flexion in the pelvis because his withers are really tight. Yeah, so horses definitely stand more than they lay down. And that's for self-preservation reasons, right? Horses can actually sleep standing up. That's the whole purpose of their suspensory system, is to lock their body in a standing position while they sleep. But that way, if they're standing while they're sleeping and they're endangered from a predator, then they can actually start running before their brain is actually fully alert. So it helps them escape danger to be able to stand and sleep. So that's what they typically do. You'll see a lot of horses that are, you know, in a pasture or in captivity. They'll lay down because obviously the threat of death from a predator is much, much lower than it would be if they were in the wild. So most domesticated horses will sleep lying down. But horses that are in the wild will tend to sleep standing up because of the obvious danger from predators. So that's why. So I'm going to see if he'll flex through his mid-back and lift this area up here. Woo. And you can see that discomfort right away. As soon as I hit that pressure point on his sternum, he's like, woof, I do not like that. So we're going to do it one more time. I'm going to try to do it very slowly and see if he'll lift it up. I want his head to start to go down while he lifts his back up. And you can see he's just not happy about doing that. So I'm going to check his ulcer points, which are very responsive. Watch what he does when I push here. Oh. You see his whole body twitching? Let me know if you can see that. If you can't, then I'll do it from a different angle so you can see that reaction. Excuse me. Yeah, I mean, horses definitely have their own personalities too. If they're lazy, of course, they're gonna lie down a lot and roll. A lot of horses love to roll, especially after being adjusted. Okay, cool. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Yeah, so, you know, one thing that I always check is pressure at the sternum, because when you push on a horse's sternum with the right type of pressure, they're going to round the back out naturally and their head should drop. So if they fight it like he is and they become very flinchy, the next thing I go to is to the ulcer points, because the ulcer points are in between the ribs, and in between each rib you have an intercostal muscle and you have a nerve, artery, and vein running in there as well. And so if they have ulcers and that ulcer is bad enough, it will irritate the nerve that runs between those two ribs. It's called the intercostal nerve. And what will happen is they'll get a referred pain along that nerve all the way to the sternum and sometimes all the way to the back, to the spine, where that nerve leaves or branches off from the spinal nerve root. So if he's got pain at the sternum and he's also got pain here, and you can see, like, I'm just barely touching, like that's just such light pressure. And if they react to that and the sternal pressure and they don't want to flex, then it's, you know, automatically, hey, you need to have your horse evaluated, you know, by the vet for ulcers. Or, you know, if they've already got ulcer medication on hand, you know, I just recommend giving that right away. Because most of the time, you know, they'll take their horse to the vet, and the vet will want to scope, and then they're going to pay $400 to scope the horse. And shocking, they're going to have ulcers, and what do? They give them the ulcer medication. So if you expect that your horse has ulcers, a lot of times it's just a good idea to give them the ulcer guard or omeprazole or whatever you're going to give your horse for those ulcers. And I also recommend, going behind that medication with a gut supplement, so that way when the ulcer medication is removed, they've got support for the gut already coming up behind the ulcer medication. So, I'm not a vet, so obviously if you think your horse has ulcers, it's always a good idea to get your veterinarian's opinion and, get their take on it as well, because they're obviously the experts. But I have my hands on enough horses every single day to know when a horse is exhibiting ulcer-like symptoms or not. And he is clearly a case where he's exhibiting ulcer-like symptoms. He's not usually in this barn. He's usually across the road at a more outdoory, airy place. This place is kind of dark, and there's not a whole lot of horses in here, so it creates a stressful environment. So there's quite a few things that are making me lean towards ulcers here. Yeah, really, really irritated. Hey, thanks, Jeff. Appreciate it. Yeah, if you guys could tap the like button for me, I would really appreciate that. Looks like we got about 70 people in here and 10 likes. So if you don't mind hitting that thumbs up, I'd greatly appreciate it, guys. Yeah, this is my job. This is my business. I work in Arizona, but I travel quite a bit, depending on the regulations in your state and how many horses you guys have or how many you can get together. Yeah, this is a 10-year-old gelding. His name is Finch. Is that a pony? I mean, I'm 6'2". What do you think? Do you think it's a pony? Definitely not a pony. All right, so I'm going to bring his head around to his shoulder. I want to see if he can touch where I'm applying this pressure. Ooh. And just be aware that when a horse has ulcers, they become very, very sensitive to a lot of different things. And so if he's got ulcers, it's not going to take me a whole lot of pressure to get him to come around. There we go. And there was a really nice release there in his neck as well. They just get super grouchy and super irritable. He's not grouchy, he's still a super sweet guy. But a lot of horses with ulcers, they just kind of lose their marbles because they're in so much pain and discomfort. It hurts them to eat, it hurts them to be saddled up, it hurts them obviously to get cinched up. It just gives them this hypersensitivity issue, so you just kind of got to be careful when you're dealing with them. But he's a really good boy, so I'm not having too much of an issue with that. Beautiful. So we got releases to both sides in the neck. Could you guys hear that? Oh, thanks, Vanessa. Thanks for subscribing. I really appreciate that. Could you guys hear those pops when he came around and touched his shoulders? Hello, Jacqueline. Thank you for coming in live. Hi, Gia. Good morning, or actually good afternoon. It's 12:15 now. Yeah, I'm based in Queen Creek, Jeremy. I travel all over the place, but yeah, that's my home base. Yeah, I'll be posted here when I'm done. Thanks for checking it out, Aunt Clara. Appreciate it. He's 10 years old, SNR. Okay, awesome. Yeah, always good to know if you guys can hear those releases. So anytime I get an audible release like that in the neck, I go back and forth to both sides one more time just to make sure we don't get any more of those. So I'm going to have him come around and touch one more time. Beautiful. And then I'm going to recheck him to the left as well. Perfect, perfect. So that is perfect motion in the neck. So what I want to see from him is that he breaks over at the pole, rotates around, and then drops to the shoulder. So to the right side, he's going to break over, he's going to rotate around, and he's going to drop to the shoulder. Any other movement that he does to get to the shoulder, even if he's able to touch the shoulder, is not correct. So we want to make sure that they're moving correctly, not only that they can get to the point that I'm touching and put their tips of their muzzle on it. Ghana, wow. Thank you for watching from Ghana. Yeah, so let me know if you guys have any other questions about that. And again, if you don't mind tapping that like button for me. Looks like we got about, I don't know, maybe 30% or so of the people in here have, or maybe a quarter have hit that like button. So if you guys don't mind just taking a sec and doing that for me, I would really appreciate it. Just gonna check his pull here manually. That's beautiful. That's beautiful, that's a good boy. That's a good boy. Gotta love horses like this that just stand here and let you do whatever you need to do, like they know you're trying to help them. So again, I'm gonna check his pull to the right. Just wanna make sure that movement is the same. He's quite a bit tighter here on the right side than he is on the left side. And I almost felt like he wanted to pull his head up when I was putting pressure here. So I just am gonna check this side one more time and make sure. Yeah, he's tight here. So, oh, there we go. That was beautiful. Good boy, good boy. So that was an awesome pull release there on that right side. We got the lick into the lips, got the head shake. Usually we'll get a deep breath as well. The head starts to come down, the ears go flat. Got all of the signs of a good adjustment on that one. It's perfect. Perfect, perfect. Now, a lot of the times, something that looks like a pull issue isn't a pull issue. You know, I find a lot of stuff at the hyoid up under here on them that's sore, and anything that's sore up under here at the hyoid can cause pull problems. It can cause issues at the sternum, issues at the shoulder, because there's muscles that go all the way down here and they come all the way up the neck and they attach up under here. And they also go from the back of the hyoid here and go down and attach to the sternum. And there's a muscle that attaches to the hyoid apparatus up here that also attaches to the pull. It's called the occipital hyoid muscle. So a lot of stuff under here can cause movement problems all over the body. But when you muscle palpate or you motion palpate the pull like that, and there's an obvious stiffness and tightness to the pull on one side versus the other, then I always adjust that. There's a big difference in feel between a structural restriction and something that's caused by tight muscles or sore muscles or something like that. Very, Clara, very. What causes ulcers in horses? Stress. Same thing that causes them in people. You'll either get them from stress or you'll get them from an overgrowth of H. pylori bacteria in what's called the duodenum, or the upper part of the small intestine. So, you know, depending on what the cause is, it's obviously a different treatment. But most of the time, I just believe it's an increase in stress levels for the horses. Japan, wow, hello, Rowena. Thank you for watching from Japan. What's my work called? It's Sport Horse Chiropractic, just what's on my hat here. And I have a link to my website in my YouTube profile, so feel free to click on that link. That'll give you a whole bunch of information about what I do. Interesting. I would have just assumed that they had lots of horses in Ghana, to be honest. All right, so I'm gonna palpate his pull here and see if there's any other sensitivity issues. So look at that. So tossing his head up, and I'm barely applying pressure up here, but a lot more sensitive on this left side than the right side. That is real sensitive. So when I see stuff like that, I automatically come down to the hyoid and check for sensitivity here. So you can see he's got some, just not real happy with that, and I'll usually find it back here too. So definitely sensitive under there, but I want to check both sides because usually hyoid issues are only on one side. Yeah, so he's actually acts like he likes it on this side. You can see that, got the lip going. But on this side, he's like, nope, I don't like that at all. So what I do for the hyoid stuff is I go to the opposite side of discomfort, which is on his right side. And first thing I check is the teeth, because poor dentition is the first thing that leads to hyoid problems. And his teeth don't look great. They don't look terrible, but I don't like them. All right, and then when he stops chewing, I'm gonna take his tongue out, and I'm just gonna get him to work the muscles that control the movement of the tongue. So on geldings and stallions, you wanna make sure you're behind the canines, and you just put 2 fingers on top of the tongue and scoop it out. So you can see I have it in my hand between my thumb and index finger. And all I'm doing is I'm just applying slight pressure out this way, out to the right side. Only enough to give him some tension so that when he tries to pull the tongue back into his mouth, it doesn't go in and he gets a really good hard contraction on the muscles that control that movement. And all the muscles that control the movement of the tongue attach to the hyoid. So typically when they're sensitive at the hyoid, you'll see them doing a whole bunch of weird stuff with their mouth. They'll play with it a bit, they'll stick their tongue out, they'll sit there and go, and like flap their tongue around. You know, they'll hold their heads weird in a certain direction when you're trying to get them to turn. They just do a whole bunch of weird things with their head and neck. So all you gotta do is just take the tongue out and hold it out here for 15, 20 seconds. Let them work those muscles, just like he is right now. There you go. And when you feel it start to relax, then you let it go. Good boy. And I'm not pulling at all. I'm just applying the slightest amount of tension out towards me. Good boy, good boy. So this is what will happen. They'll sit here and they'll keep chewing for a little bit. They might take some deep breaths. They'll do the head shaking. They might start to yawn. You'll see the eyes blink a million times. This is exactly what they'll do after you take the tongue out and do that for them. You get a big parasympathetic response, which is that rest and digest response. So just let them do their thing, let them chew, let them shake. There was a deep breath right there. If they yawn, that's great too. Another big deep breath. Thank you, SNR, I appreciate that. There you go. So you can see the position of his head has come down, his ears are nice and flat. Super relaxed position here. Hello, Melinda. New bar, I'm great, thank you. How are you? Right, so he's just getting more and more and more relaxed. That's what I love to see. Good. So when I feel like he's done dealing with that hyoid, you know, then I'll go on to the next thing. Looks pretty relaxed now. I think we're good to go. So I'll go ahead and recheck that hyoid, and then you can see the difference in his comfort level just by pulling the tongue out. So let's see, let's check this again. There you go. And you can see I'm pressing just as hard. You can see his head kind of bouncing around while I palpate. That's beautiful. So that is all gone, all gone. Look, I'm really putting a lot of pressure in there, and he could care less right now. That is a beautiful thing. And then I'm gonna check his pole again, just to see if he's still sensitive up here. There is a little heat up here, but it's not bad. But look at that. Like you can see his ears moving around. I'm not holding his head down as he pulls his head away there. Not holding his head down. Look, just way, way better up there. So I'm gonna lift his head up towards the top. Oh, that's beautiful. And then anytime a horse is sensitive up at the base of their skull like that, I'm gonna flex them down to the chest and adjust this as well, watch. Oh, good boy, good boy. That's beautiful. And why do I do that? Because the muscles at the base of the skull, they control this motion, they control extension. So if he's tight in extension or sore in these muscles, the best thing you can do is to flex him down to the chest and give those muscles a nice quick stretch to try to reduce or take away any spasms that are going on up there. Thank you, Maggie. There we go. So you can see his eyes. Just super, super relaxed right now. He's one of those situations where, whoop, look at, where, you know, sometimes I'm not done, but I'm done because they look like they're done, right? They've had enough and they're nice and relaxed. So I'll let them relax when I come to a point where I think their own bodies are finished. No, it's not my horse, Abigail. All the horses that I work on my videos are clients' horses. Good boy. There we go. As you can imagine, because he's a show jumper, you can imagine all the stress that his front legs are under, because obviously when they come over the jumps and they land, you know, it's a lot of force going up through the leg and into the shoulders. Oh, it's good range of motion there. Good boy. Good boy. Come on, you're all right. Good boy. Come on. Good boy. So the vast majority of the time, these guys love their legs getting done. Thank you, Cindy. Oh. Yeah, sometimes you get some idiots making comments like that in here, but Cindy's on it. Good boy. Good boy. Oh, good boy. Good boy. There's a good boy. So you can see, like, he's just a little hesitant, but then he's like, oh, that actually feels good. His eyes are still kind of wondering what's going on. That's a good boy. But once they realize that it feels good and they're getting a good stretch, they relax and start to chill out. So you can see him starting to relax too, even though I'm picking at his chestnut here, which I have to always do out of habit. That's a good boy. Good boy, good boy. So this is a really good shoulder extent or shoulder flexion stretch, as well as a knee extension stretch. Oh, there we go. Got a really nice release in his fetlock there. Get him in a better position so you guys can see his right leg. Come on back. But there's a hole in the middle of his stall, and he seems to know that. So he's walking around it. Oh, he's a good buddy. Good boy. All right, so I'm gonna get to his right leg. Thank you guys, appreciate all the comments. Sweet. Well, if the other 60 of you guys would consider hitting that like button, I would greatly appreciate that, everybody. All right. Those likes are everything to us as content creators. Oh, that's a good boy. Can see how flexible they are. Come on, buddy. You're all right. Over. Good boy. Oh, you just fell in the hole, huh? All right, let's get his other leg stretched out here. What do I like most about the horses? I think what I like most about them is that they're, you know, 1,200, 1,300 pounds, right? So they're about 6, 7 times my weight, and they could run me over, kick me, bite me. You know, they could pull away from me anytime they wanted, and they don't. You know, in order for a horse that's a prey animal to allow you to do this, they have to trust you. So the fact that something this big and this powerful is making a conscious decision to let me do this, I think is, you know, the one thing that I like about them, and the most humbling thing that I get to experience with them. Oh, good boy, good boy. And horses also show you a lot of gratitude when you help them. And you'll see that a lot with the horses that I work on. when something feels good and they relax, they'll kind of put their head into you, they'll put their muzzle up to your face, they'll just relax into you. It's pretty awesome. Oh, that was a huge one right there. So that was his fetlock releasing there, if you could hear that. All horses' legs are tiny compared to their bodies. Yeah, absolutely, I do ride. I love to ride. In fact, I just showed a horse at the Pinto World Championships in June and won a reserve champion on a senior amateur walk trot class. Wisdom for going on 9 years. No, I don't do barrels or poles. I actually just started riding not too long ago. I've only had a few lessons. I just like to ride, do trails, take them in the river or in the lake, and just kind of go on trail rides and do stuff like that. Although I do want to learn how to rope, so that's kind of on my bucket list of things to do. So let's get his hind legs done here. Good boy. Good boy. Oh, beautiful. Really nice stifle release there. That's a good boy. That's a good boy, yeah. That's a good boy. That's a good boy. Really, really nice there. Yeah, that was a Western class. I will never do English, but Western's kind of fun. I'd love to do the Western ranch riding and stuff like that too, maybe some reining. Do horses like us? Yeah, I mean, horses, it just depends on the horse. You know, some horses love it, some horses don't, but that's where the training comes in. You know, a well-trained horse and a well-bred horse, you know, we've been riding horses for hundreds of years, so. Oh, nice. Very nice. Just local shows, Vanessa, or do you go to any of the big ones? Horse is guinea pig 10. I'm not sure what that means. Horse is guinea pig 10. Oh, yeah. Okay, that's weird. Girl with guinea pig, he's 10 and his name is Finch. All right, so I'm gonna stretch his jaw, check his TMJ. So his teeth need to be floated. His incisors aren't touching at all on the lateral side. And he just looks like he needs a good float. And hyoid issues, like the one I was showing you before, are mostly caused by poor dentition. So usually if I find pain up under here, it's an immediate referral to the equine dentist or to the vet who does teeth, if that's, you know, what the person prefers to use. But if I feel a sore hyoid, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to see bad teeth. It's just the way it works. So, but his TMJ is looking good, really good motion in his lower jaw. He's really willing to stretch out and open all the way. So at least we're kind of in the minor stages of that discomfort at the hyoid. Just a little sore on this TMJ though. Can you see that when I put pressure in there? He's kind of moving away from that pressure. Whereas if I put pressure here, there's nothing. So I'm gonna do a little TMJ adjustment on his right TMJ as well. But this one requires a lot of cooperation from the horse because I have to kind of cover their face with my forearm, and sometimes they don't like it, but I think he'll be fine. Awesome. Yeah, thank you all so much for spending all this time. I appreciate it. And if you wouldn't mind just taking a split second and tapping that like button for me, I would really, really appreciate it. So I have to get on his temporal bone on his right side in order to adjust his TMJ on his left side. So he's nice and relaxed, so this might kind of surprise him a little bit. but that's a normal thing right here. And there it goes. So just got a really, really nice pop out of that left TMJ. So I'm going to give him that for a second, and then I'll hit those pressure points again and really get him to chew and stretch that out. But see, you can see he was really nice and relaxed, and all of a sudden, pow. So it tends to surprise him and wake him up a little bit. But now you can see him shaking it off and licking the lips, which is what I love to see. Absolutely. Thank you, Vanessa. Ralph. I love human names on horses. Crack me up. I had a Fred once. It's like if you go to work on a horse named Fred, you know he's just going to be a big, quiet dope. You know, just a chill dude, probably goofy with a cool personality. Ooh, chestnut mare, very nice. All right. Yeah, Cindy, we might have to do something about that one guy that you probably are already watching. Doesn't seem legit to me anymore. Yeah, his name was Fred. Chief. You Gorgon his right ear leg. I'm not sure what that means. Yeah, I'd love to come do race horses. Where are you located, Jason? All right, that guy's gonna be gone. There we go. Forgot his right rear leg. No, I'm just not there yet. Good boy. Okay, cool. Thank you, Cindy. I think he's out. I think I removed him already. Maybe not. Maybe I just removed the message. I'm not sure what you're meaning, Luther. I think there's a bad translation in there somewhere, but that's all right. Oh, New York. Wow. No, I don't ever go there. I mean, I definitely would, especially if you had a heated barn in the wintertime. But, you know, most racetrack barns have other friends that own or run other barns. So, you know, if you could reach out to them and get a few of those people interested, I would definitely make a trip out. But I can't do it for 9. I'm just too busy here in Arizona, so 9, and I have to pay travel costs to get out there. So. So it takes about 6 years to become a horse chiropractor, because you have to go to vet school or human chiropractic school first, which are both about 6 years. And then once you become a vet or human chiropractor, you can get your animal chiropractic certification. Oof. Good boy. Oh, very nice. Oof. Very nice. So we got releases in both stifles on him, which will make a huge difference in how he moves. Good boy. So then I'll go back and check his TMJ here in a second. I do go to Missouri. I haven't been to Florida in a long time. Florida's a very restrictive state for animal chiropractors. You got to have written referrals from the veterinarians. You know, but if there's enough horses there that can get the referrals, I'll be more than happy to come to Florida for sure. Wow. Yeah, I actually went over to Dubai. I was invited over there by an owner that had 100 Arab and thoroughbred race horses. And we had quite a few horses after they were adjusted do really, really well. One horse was a 5-year-old filly, 5-year-old mare, who had never done better than 10th. And I adjusted her. She ran in the President Muhammad's Cup and won first place. Like, it was the most exciting thing ever. So yeah, they have some pretty big improvements afterwards. Yeah, he is gorgeous and just the best mannered, most well-behaved horse for sure. Yeah, I bet. Yeah, I was in New Jersey for a while, and I know what you mean. Sometimes the summers are worse than the winters. Depends on what you prefer, but yeah, East Coast is tough. Yeah, I have been injured. Yeah, never from a really bad kick, but I have been kicked. But yeah, I've been injured for sure. Oh, that's cool. Well, thank you for being a subscriber. Appreciate it. Awesome, guys. Thanks for all the likes coming in. I see we got 70 people in here and we got 50 likes. Oh, 64 people now. But love it. Thank you very much. All right, so let me do his jaw one more time. I always like to make them use their jaw, use their TMJs after I do an adjustment like that, just to give them a really good stretch. Make sure they're still moving really well or better than they were before. There we go. Good boy. It's beautiful. And oftentimes when you have hyoid sensitivity or hyoid pain, you'll have TMJ sensitivity or pain on the same side. So the fact that he was sore in his hyoid on the left, you know, makes me not surprised that he was sore in the TMJ over there too. So that's good. So let me recheck this. Good. So you can see the difference there. Like before, he was lifting his head up and turning away. I'm not holding him there. See, he's just standing there on his own. So that's all beautiful stuff. And he's one of those horses that I hate to be done with, but unfortunately, I've got to move on. But thank you guys so much for watching that. That was a long one, but I greatly appreciate you spending your time and hanging out and answering questions and stuff while I'm working. This is the barn I'm in right now, by the way, just so you guys can see. Got quite a few stalls in here. Not a whole lot of horses in here right now because I think they're all being turned out at the moment. Let me lock this stall up here. And they had his lead rope tied around the door to the stall because I think he's an escape artist. So I will do the same and tie his halter around, or tie his lead rope around this as well. Just don't know where they had it. All right, let's see. There we go. Hope you guys all had an awesome Thanksgiving. Excited for Christmas coming up as well. Probably be going back out to SoCal for that. That's where my family is. But I think I prefer Thanksgiving over Christmas just for the food, but usually we do like a prime rib roast or something for Christmas, so I can't complain about that either. All right, so I'm all done with him. Show you guys the rest of this place here. Here we go. Pretty cool facility here. So we got the barn I was just in, which is this one. And we got pasture out there. Some small paddocks here. Big maintenance area and hay barn. And then we got an arena out there where they practice. They got some barrels, some jumping setups. And then we got some goats. Goat yoga is kind of a weird thing out here in Arizona. So we got some goats here, got some goats back there. Of course, you got your chickens because everybody has chickens around here. And then in this barn, let me do this. Got some more horses here. So we got lots of horses, and I will be in this barn at some point here soon. I just talked to one of the trainers over there, and they want me to work on a bunch of horses for them. So I'll definitely be back here. But that's only part of the facility. We've got, you can see back there, coming towards some more horses here. They got to walk across this field. These are two properties that are joined together. So I got to walk across one to get back to where my truck is parked. Can be kind of an obstacle to get through here. So, offering an obstacle course. I don't think I would walk through this field in the summertime because of our rattlesnake population, but I'm not too worried about it right now. I got to put my phone down so I can put the chain back around this fence here. There we go. All right. So you can see these are like some deep grass out here. So I was just working on some horses for RCR Farms. It's Renee Coates. She is a show jumper trainer and dressage trainer. So I'm just heading back over to her property where I have my truck parked. So, and here's the other horses on this side. Just a huge complex. And they're all hidden off the main roads here, so you know, I'm surprised a lot when I go to these new facilities, you know, and I'll see 50 horses, 100 horses. Yeah, super nice facility. There's more pasture out there. And then we'll come back to the main barn where they have their big old boys and girls. So you'll see the difference here in a second. So back over at RCR Farms, there's a little jumping setup they have here. Real pretty Appaloosa. Look at the muscles on this guy, just ripped. Hey, big guy. Yeah. Oh. You can always tell when the horses are taken care of, when they're just super friendly and right at the front of the stalls when you come by. Oh, just sweet as can be. Oh, yeah. You got the old man. Oh, hi, sweetheart. Oh, gotta love the old ones. Oh, yeah. And then we got the young ones. Oh, hey buddy, this is a pretty one. Look at the color on this guy. Beautiful. Oh, yeah. Hi, sweetheart. Hello. Hello. All shapes and sizes. Oh. Look at this guy. Oh, hey big boy. What you doing? What you doing? Just sweetie pies. Another old man here too. All right, so look at this guy. Oh, you're okay. Hey, buddy. Hello. 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 Come here. Come here. Oh. Guard dog. All right. Yeah, he came right up, and then as soon as I went down to pet him, he's like, okay. I didn't know you had horses all the way over there.
Yeah, just a couple overflow.
Yeah, Finch is doing pretty good.
Good.
Really just, he was real sore in his left TMJ left hyoid and had releases in his neck to both shoulders. So I did a bunch of work there. Right fetlock had a huge flexion and release too in both stifles. So he really did not want to flex through his withers. So I'm gonna recommend to Vanessa to either put him on some ulcer guard or get him checked out for ulcers, because he definitely has them. Okay, yeah, and I recorded it too, so she'll be able to see everything, and I'll show her all that stuff too.
It's so cheap now. You can get all those.
I know, you can get it on Amazon.
Yeah.
So yeah, he did not want to flex through his withers, and then when I tried to flex his pelvis, he was just moving, trying to get away from it, because he's got to contract the abdominals, and he's sore in there. So I think that's probably his biggest problem.
Okay.
So yeah, my pleasure. Have a good day. Thanks. So here's the nice barn with the big old boys. These guys are huge. Wish I could show you. Let's see. This will be a good one here. Look it. Hi, buddy boy. Oh, here we go. Look it. There's a good boy. Oh, I know. Oh, we got another curious dude over here too. Oh, yeah. Good boy. But these guys are stepped down about, 4 or 5 inches in their stalls, and they're still this big. Let's see what else we have here. There's a big old boy too, right there. Yeah, so I get to work in some pretty cool places on a lot of really nice horses. This is just one of them. All the nice show barns have these trunks that they pack up when they go to shows. And that's Moose. Moose is one of the biggest horses I work on a regular basis. He's just a massive, massive dude. Hey, big guy. Super quiet, thank goodness. You good boy. Oh, hello. Hello. That's a good boy. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for being on the live. Really appreciate it. Hope to see you guys on the next live here pretty soon. I should be going live again tomorrow. I really should be going live the rest of the week, but sometimes things change a little bit. But anyway, hope you guys have a fantastic Monday, and I hope to see you on another live here pretty soon. See ya.